What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and it is January 4th, 2013, Friday. It's the end of a lot of people's work weeks. I got some WWE news and rumors for you guys. I'm going to give you a weekend review. There were some important pieces of information that were reported this week. Typically, this is a slow week for the WWE. They kind of hit the reset button, and we will be on the road to WrestleMania officially starting January 7th, because Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, will be making his return to the WWE after most of the year off since last year's WrestleMania against John Cena. Now, this will begin the road. This will pretty much begin the road to WrestleMania. Like I said, a lot of storylines will begin to develop from here on out from Monday Night Raw, leading into the 20th anniversary of Monday Night Raw on the 14th, and then right into the Royal Rumble. But there were some pieces of information that really got me to sit down and write a commentary about it, because it just bothers me as a wrestling fan. And if you guys have been watching the product for as long as I have, I'm sure it would bother you as well. Now, the Royal Rumble is always and will always be one of the most purchased pay-per-views on the WWE calendar. Okay, like I said, it signals the start of a new year, a fresh start, and most importantly, it's the time where we all take a ride on that road to WrestleMania. This is the most exciting portion of the WWE season, okay? Royal Rumble is going to be particularly special this year, right? The Royal Rumble always excites me personally because it's a night of surprises and unpredictability. The last few years, I have gotten excited about the event, but WWE has ruined it and watered it down, making it predictable and comedic. Okay, just like last year's Royal Rumble, it was absolutely terrible. I remember where I was. I remember exactly what I was doing. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings in Stamford, Connecticut, okay, home of WWE headquarters, watching the pay-per-view a few miles away from the WWE headquarters, and I'm sitting there eating my burger and wings and fries, and, I have my Guinness with me, and the pay-per-view was so terrible that I just started to, give these nasty facial expressions to everybody at the table that was sitting with me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is the Royal Rumble? This is what the Royal Rumble has come down to? A fucking Socko versus Cobra match in the Rumble? Jumping around like clowns? That's not the Royal Rumble I grew up with. Yeah, that's not what the Royal Rumble is about. This event should evoke seriousness and a drive within every wrestler on that roster to put on the best show of their lives. Okay, this is the road to WrestleMania, people. You gotta show us why you're in the WWE. WWE has something special on their hands this year with the Rumble, and it needs to be thought out, planned out in advance, and all major angles, matches, and outcomes should be in the final phases of completion. But as of this week, there is news going around that this isn't the case. People in WWE are growing concerned whether CM Punk versus The Rock is a wise move. Who on earth would think this is a bad move? You have CM Punk, who is the hottest thing on your programming right now. You have The Rock, who is the most popular superstar of all time. With the Royal Rumble traditionally averaging 500,000 pay-per-view buys per year in January, I expect this pay-per-view to do well over 600,000 just because of this one match. They are worried because the Rumble match pretty much sells itself and really doesn't need anything else that night. Totally disagree right there. So because WWE feels that all they need is the Royal Rumble match itself to sell this pay-per-view, they want to give us throwaway matches and a shitty undercard because they know it will sell? Terrible, and I mean terrible business mentality. This is a dream match. Punk versus The Rock has been brewing for over a year now. It needs to happen. I've said this many times in my commentaries already up to this point. It needs to happen. Not just for the fans, because it will truly be a sight to see. It will be a special moment, but it needs to happen for the business of WWE. Vince is going to make so much money here, it's unreal. All this money that they're set to make, and they're worried about using Punk's time and The Rock's time wisely? Using The Rock's time wisely. They are concerned with a high-profile title match on the same card as your traditional Royal Rumble that's not as much attention, they're worried that there's not going to be much attention paid, to the 30-man over-the-top Battle Royal. I honestly think people in WWE have absolutely no clue on anything concerning their product and their business. First of all, this is a WWE Championship match. Your WWE Champion has held your company's title for over 400 days. Think about that for a second. Of course, when you have a scenario like you do with Punk, especially since he's wrestling The Rock, it will be more important than the Rumble. That's just common sense. 400 days, your champion has been holding your title. Of course it's going to be more important than the Rumble. It's a given. When in the past has the WWE, received such recognition for their title? Never. I can't remember it. I can't remember it since I've been a fan. Maybe since Bret Hart, Diesel. Not even The Undertaker received recognition when he held that title. That title deserves as much attention, believe me, and it has the right man holding that title. Nobody watching the Rumble is not going to care about the Rumble match itself. That's fucking ridiculous to even concern yourself with. After we get a winner of the WWE Championship match, whether it be Punk, whether it be The Rock, obviously we're all going to be glued to the TV to see who might be challenging either man at WrestleMania. On top of all this, WWE has no plans right now. No plans set forth concerning the event, The Rock, or CM Punk. This is your Royal Rumble pay-per-view, people. 3.5 weeks away. What are they waiting for? Rumor has it that nothing on the road to WrestleMania is set in stone either. Again, what is WWE waiting for? They have all year to plan out what they want for WrestleMania because WWE begins planning WrestleMania as soon as WrestleMania ends. They're already planning the next WrestleMania. But we're 3 months away from WrestleMania this year. And you have no plans with your high-profile names? The Undertaker, Punk, Rock, Cena, Triple H, Lesnar, Steve Austin maybe? Give me a break. I can guarantee you, any one of you listening to me right now, you can probably create a mock WrestleMania card to the best of your knowledge based on the current storylines for WrestleMania. But WWE seems to be clueless. This is crunch time, people. Crunch time. This is the time to shine. This is the time to show the world why WWE is the place to be and the program to watch when it comes to wrestling. Don't let me down like you did last year, WWE, with the Royal Rumble and with that horrible WrestleMania you had. With the names you have this year and everyone close to being healthy, this could be the biggest year in this company's history. But WWE really hasn't showed me that they care enough to give the fans what we deserve. Other news, guys. WWE superstar CM Punk has reached a new milestone during his reign as WWE Champion. As the ball dropped on New Year's, CM Punk became the first wrestler to hold the WWE Championship for a calendar year beginning January 1st and ending December 31st. The last man to accomplish that was Hulk Hogan, who held the WWE Championship without interruption through the entirety of 1985, 86, and 87. Congrats to CM Punk, as there is not any more of a deserving honor for anyone on that roster right now. He hasn't been... He's not the superstar that Hogan was, but for Punk to do this in this era, I don't think there will be another one to come along to duplicate this in a very, very long time. Like I said in the opening, the January 7th episode of Monday Night Raw will signal The Rock's return, and Ryback versus CM Punk in a TLC match is said to be all hands on deck, with virtually every major big name being called in. Then WWE has the big Raw 20th anniversary show on January 14th, where they will be bringing back several old names, and that's going to take place in Texas. Appearances by The Undertaker, Steve Austin, and Shawn Michaels are likely. It is also expected WWE will make the first Hall of Fame announcement that night. For what it's worth, regarding the January 7th episode, it is being said that when the show is over, people will be talking. Now, first of all, I'd like to go on record saying that I don't think it's the wisest move to be putting CM Punk in a TLC match as his first match off knee surgery, especially against Ryback, who's very physical. I already stated that Ryback shouldn't be getting any more title shots until he's ready and set to win that title. With WWE, possibly pulling a swerve and having Punk drop the title before the Rumble. I don't know if they're going to go down that route, but, it's not out of the question. But in my honesty, they can't be that stupid to pull the trigger on such, a controversial decision like that. I fully expect some type of interference, possibly from the Shield. Ryback will fail again at capturing the WWE Championship. But I really do think Vince really gets a hard-on while seeing Ryback in a championship match because, this is his pet project. Ryback is. And that's got to be the reason why he's received so many chances at this title. Again, I believe he will fail like I expect him to. Ryback will win the Rumble if he doesn't capture the WWE Championship here. I predict he will win the Royal Rumble. But they are labeling this as all hands on deck, which means Austin and The Undertaker will possibly be on hand. There have been rumors going around also about a confrontation between Austin and Punk if they're on the same show, especially the 20th anniversary show. Is Austin ready to wrestle? Will Punk drop the title to The Rock at the Rumble and set up an Austin-Punk match at WrestleMania? That's the one thing that I'm going to be interested in. Brock Lesnar is expected to make a return to WWE TV for multiple appearances in March, likely beginning in late February after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Unless plans have changed, he will be building towards a WrestleMania 29 match with Triple H. Now, speaking of Lesnar, his contract expires with WrestleMania, as it's unknown if he's re-signed for another year. WWE will be facing the same issues like they do every year when WrestleMania is over. All their top stars will be heading out of the company to do whatever they got to do outside wrestling. The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, Lesnar. Listen, Lesnar is going to resign. I fully believe it. He loves money, and he's not going to turn down that big contract offer from Vince McMahon. Obviously, it's not going to be as much money as he's making this year, but McMahon's going to throw his money at him because it's smart. It's a smart business move. Lesnar increases buy rates for pay-per-views. People want to see Lesnar. Lesnar's hot. He's a former UFC champion. So McMahon's going to do whatever he can to keep that big name within the company. And as for Triple H versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, I don't want it to happen. The outcome of that match is so predictable for a WrestleMania match that just speaks lazy booking to me. I don't want to see it. Triple H is retired. Just put Lesnar against The Undertaker and just call it a day. That's what I want to see. Or put Lesnar versus The Rock. Something. Just not Triple H. I don't want to see it. That would be a hell of a boring match for WrestleMania. We already seen it at SummerSlam. Triple H is done. He doesn't need any more in-ring activity unless it's against Shawn Michaels for his last match. That's it. No Lesnar versus Triple H. I don't want to see it. But that's the news, guys. That is all the news I have for this week. I will be back on Tuesday morning with your WWE Raw review, the first Raw for 2013. The Rock will be returning. What's going to happen? Rumor said it's going to be all hands on deck. It's going to be the show that's going to get people talking. So I'll be back to give you my honest, in-depth thoughts and opinions on that. So look forward to that, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me for WWE News and Rumors. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It really helps me out, guys. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm at 600 subscribers. I want to be at close to 1,000 before my birthday. Next month, February 6th, is my birthday. I want to be close to 1,000. I want to do something special for you guys, a Q&A, where you can ask me anything you guys want. So I'm planning that. So let's get JD's channel to 1,000 subscribers. It's really helping me out. Without you guys' help, my channel's nothing. So I greatly appreciate everybody that's been listening and supporting me so far. But JD out, guys. I'll see you back on Tuesday for your Raw review, and I'll talk to you guys then. Peace.